I don't think we do, but I do know that our senior White House correspondent, John Roberts, has confirmed their authenticity, so we can trust that these questions reflect what Robert Mueller's line of questioning to Mr. Trump would be. And I think there are two ways to look at it, Tucker. One is sort of, can you believe that these are the questions, and don't they trespass on the president's obvious rights and duties as president? And the other question is, I would have, agreeing with Byron York, is that all there is? Remember now, we've been told by so many for so long that we don't know what we don't know, which is sort of obvious if you think about it, but that Mueller may have things we haven't heard about.
Yes.
He may have uncovered things we've never heard about. Nothing in these questions relates to anything we haven't yet heard about. You know, we'd certainly sit up and take notice if among these questions were one that asked about the president's conversations with a certain Russian representative or agent that we'd never heard of before. We'd say, whoa, it looks as if Mr. Mueller's onto something. Now, it may be, Tucker, that lurking in potential follow-up questions to those that are listed here, that there will be some sort of new information. But on the face of it, there's really not much here. And if this is all there is,
I totally agree. No, it's complete. I mean, you expect the question, what about that night in Azerbaijan in '85 or something? But this sounds like a cable news segment, these questions. They're totally general and airy. I was confused by reading them. Do you have any idea where they're going?
Well, I just think that it looks to me like they relate to everything that's been discussed and uncovered so far. And then the question has been raised about whether, when he asks about some of these business deals, whether they're getting into his red flag area that he said would, lead him possibly to fire the investigator. I'm not sure that's true. And, I think one of the things that Trump might end up having to say to Mueller is, why did you fire Comey? Remember, Rod Rosenstein sent a letter telling Comey he was out, and it listed a bunch of things that dated back to the Hillary Clinton investigation, in which he said there was improper usurpation of the Justice Department's rightful functions. And then Trump was later asked on NBC about the reasons for firing Comey, and he said, well, I was going to fire him anyway, and it indicated that it was about the Russia investigation. Well, that's a valid line of questioning, obviously. If you're firing the guy to try to stomp on the investigation, that's a serious matter. But I think there's an alternative explanation for that, which I think is quite possibly valid, which is Comey had said to Trump 3 times, I think it was 2 or 3 times, that Trump was not under investigation. Well, he asked him to say that publicly, and Comey and the FBI wouldn't do it. Well, if you were Trump, or if I were me and I were in that situation, it would infuriate me. I think, there's information out there that would be, exculpatory, and they won't allow it to go out, leaving this cloud over the presidency. So, these are all things that Trump could say. I think properly prepared by lawyers and disciplined in his approach, the president probably could handle all these questions. I didn't see anything in there that looked particularly scary.
So let me get your very quick response to a story I keep reading, which is a series of attacks on General Kelly, the chief of staff over at the White House, suggesting that he's at war with Trump, he's about to be replaced. Are these stories real? Are they planted by his enemies? Is that going to happen?
Well, they have, to me, at least, the earmarks of stories planted by his enemies. Because if you're trying to bring down Kelly, right, how would you do that? You would make Trump furious with him, and so you put the word out that he has, from time to time, referred to Trump as an idiot. I can kind of understand how a disciplined, military-minded organization man like John Kelly, dealing with Trump, who is, Trump is a man-child. He does what he wants a lot of the time, sometimes to his own detriment. He might infuriate you, and you might, under your breath, or maybe in a room full of intimate aides, say, oh, the guy's being an idiot about this, right? So you would leak that, not to hurt Trump, you'd leak that to hurt Kelly, which is how it looks to me. I don't know, of course, and the only people who know that are the people who know who the sources are.
That's exactly what it looks like to me. He seems like a very decent man and an effective chief of staff. That's my impression. Brit, thank you.
Yeah, and someone that Trump respected, which was important.
Yeah, very.
Thanks
a lot. Brit Hume, appreciate it. Well, hundreds of members of that migrant caravan are still camped on the border